Right. Okay, and welcome back, everyone, to the Facebook live stream. We've done our best to, and I'm not sure why. There's just all kinds of little glitchy things going on here, so I can't really see my Facebook on my computer because my mouse just stopped working as the live stream stopped working. Two totally separate things. Has nothing to do with each other, totally unrelated, but happened at the same time nonetheless, just to throw us off. But we will continue nonetheless, regardless of technology. And I'm just not sure why my mouse just stops working all of a sudden. When all the batteries are in there properly, everything's ready to go, and the signal was just had to be lost just as we were losing our live signal with everybody. So hopefully we can get everyone back here. And maybe we were on YouTube all the time. I don't know. But it looks like we got Monique here. Good morning, Sudbury. On YouTube. Because we weren't on Facebook. Probably you're checking it out, what was going on. But I had to reschedule a whole brand new show and do it on the fly while we were on the radio live. Marianne, good morning, everyone from Barrie, where it's hot and very dry. Vin, yes, we are back on Facebook. Had to do things on the fly here. Marianne, the algorithms have changed once again. No, it's me. It's me and technology on this side. Hazel, yes, we're back. Thanks. Good morning. Belinda, good morning. A truth can walk naked, but a lie always needs to be dressed. For sure. Double heart emoji. Thank you. And we should be back on YouTube now, as far as I know. Yeah, and there's Nana on YouTube. Yeah, Monique. Good morning, Sudbury, with a cool shades emoji. Here's Nana. Good morning. Great to have you back. Greatly missed. Thank you. Blessings, everybody. Heart emoji. I missed you guys, too, as well. And getting off to a discombobulated start this morning, but it is what it is. What happened was I had my two mouse here for two different computers. Anyways, instead of having to reach up on another platform for one computer, I decided to bring the mouse down. But then it dropped and then stopped working for one computer while I accidentally clicked, and the mouse just had to be on my Switcher Studio to stop the recording. But then it said to me, hey, do you want to cancel stopping the recording? I said, oh, this is great. I can just cancel it and it will continue. So I canceled it, but it stopped it anyways. So it didn't actually do what it said it was going to do. So Marianne says, the way I have to do chat, trust me, it's not you. Oh, okay. Well, there's also things going on the algorithm side. So between my foibles, the technology that I have in the room, the algorithms of the social medias we're on, there's lots of opposition, but we get through it each and every day. We plow through opposition as much as we can to have a conversation about issues that are going on locally, regionally, nationally, internationally, and it's always a great time. Not casting on YouTube, just shows the previous 21-second live. Okay. All right. Well, it's supposed to be. Yeah. So unfortunately, we won't have a show on YouTube today, I guess. But Nana was able to check in on YouTube here, so we'll see. We will see. I can't check on my end. I just know there's lots to talk about, and let's get down to some of the stuff. So local news here, coming from our local news aggregator, Sudbury.news. It's where we take our news from, which aggregates all the local news into one location. This one coming from Sudbury.com, it's about our speed cameras. Speed camera data proves they carry a lasting impact. So these speed cameras are the best thing that ever happened to Greater Sudbury. According to Sudbury.com, the city reports that automated speed enforcement cameras have reduced speeds not only in immediate proximity to the devices, but also in their vicinity. and after they have been removed. Right? So data proves this. And I would have to agree that it's just common sense. You put a speed camera there and you're going to find people, I don't know how much money you're going to find them, but a lot of money. And if they go over the speed limit. So, of course, people are going to slow down. And they have the signs. They don't have signs just right in front of the cameras. They have them like half a kilometer before the camera, before you get to it on either side. So some people don't know where the camera are. They don't know how the cameras work. They don't know you got to be just kind of in a certain proximity of the camera while it takes a picture of your license plate. And if you speed anywhere else, the camera's not going to get you. People don't know that. They just see a sign and it says camera. They slow down, right? So that's normal. If you were to educate everyone on how the camera actually worked, that it only works at a specific point, and you put a line on the pavement saying this is where the speed camera takes a picture of your license plate, I think it would be a little different. People would just speed right up to that point, slow down, and then move on, right? So that's that. Here you go. So that's, as you can tell, I'm not a fan of the speed cameras. And I think they're just a way. I want to see the data that shows that it's actually helping with reducing accidents and keeping people safe. And I want to see a reduction on my insurance due to these cameras. I want to see that data actually make its way to lower insurance costs if, in fact, we are having less accidents because we're more safe, because we're driving slower, because these cameras help us be safer. That's the reason why they're there. The ultimate, thing would show that my insurance is going to go down because I'm in a safer city now. By far, it's safer. So there's going to be less accidents, hence the insurance comes down, hence they're working. But no. The city's just going to make a bunch of money. We're going to pay the same amount of insurance. And that's that, regardless of whatever data. So I encourage the city to bring this data to all the insurance companies because you care about your citizens, right? The city cares about the citizens. So you would care about how much money they're spending, right? Because that's one thing you'd want your citizens to do is actually keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets rather than just giving it away to governments for taxes, which now we're way up in terms of we pay more on taxes than we do on food, shelter, and clothing, right? So as someone in the government, you'd actually care that your citizens are paying more for taxes than they are on food, shelter, and clothing. And you'd say, wow, we got to keep you safer so we can keep your costs down. But no, we got to keep you safer, meaning we need to make more money off of you while we keep you safer. And who cares if you keep paying more money? As long as it's in our pockets, we're happy. So that's the message it sends to me, right? But then you send out these press releases and people like Sudbury.com that just print whatever you say. It's keeping us safer. So data shows people are slowing down. Of course you're slowing down because you're going to get a ticket. I'm glad your data shows people are slowing down. Yes, we're going to be talking about Nova Scotia here in a couple of seconds, but they started with Nova Scotia, I'm hearing, because a recently lifted decades-long ban on uranium exploration and mining, and that's what they're after. Oh, interesting, yeah. Nova Scotia, we'll talk a little bit about that ban they had about going into the woods, and a particular gentleman who defied this and wants to challenge it in court. We'll show you a little video. You've probably already seen it. But for our radio folks who may be relying on the radio to hear what's going on in Nova Scotia and might be coming to Ontario, yes. So, hello, Miles. Hope you're having a good morning. Yes, we realize we are back on YouTube as well. So thanks for all that, everyone. And yes, we can still chat, which is great. And the stuff about the speed cameras is just propaganda. A house blew up in Barrie on the weekend. Sadly, the husband didn't make it. They have set up a GoFundMe for the wife and 2 kids. Nothing left. So if you want to check that out on Google, just look at Barrie home explosion or home and GoFundMe and use all the keywords to find that, unless you wanted to share the link here, Marianne, for us. So Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick all have a forest ban. So soon it will be Quebec and then Ontario and so on. Ridiculous. Yes, we're going to get into that. And yeah, the only way we're going to be able to combat it is mass non-compliance, which means everyone should just walk into the woods all together. It's the only way you're going to prevent this, but we'll have that video coming up. Maybe we'll start off with it. I don't know. We'll see. But a little closer to home, an opinion piece in Sudbury.com. The MNR has fixed the moose tag allocation system. Retired moose biologist Alan Bissett has a few thoughts on how the Ministry of Natural Resources is going to fix the system. He doesn't think it's going to work. Right? So whenever big government gets involved with stuff, then there's long wait times, non-efficient rollout and running of the program. Money just gets used up with no accountability, and service is terrible. You know, and there's just, they come up with these wacky things like, for going into the bush, you get fined $25,000. And Jerome's joining us from beautiful Kagawang, and I'd have to admit that it is beautiful. Manitoulin Island. Good morning, Jerome. And so yeah, Jeff Evely is his name. And Marianne's been following him for 3 years now. And he has great tenacity. The guy's a vet. So he's been everywhere. He's been to Iraq, Afghanistan, you name it. He's served our country, and now he's serving our country in a different way because he's challenging tyrannical policies and regulations from government. Since when have we ever been banned to go into our forests and vacation at, you know, different parks and things like that? You know, they just have certain policies saying you're not allowed to have a fire over a certain, time at night or whatever. Make sure you do this, make sure you do that. And sure, we're able to live with that, but we're also paying so many taxes to keep these forests, up to speed, and taxes for everything. You would think that at the end of the day, they'd be able to help us to be able to enjoy the country we live in, not give us more regulations and rules and take things away while they're charging us and grinding on the faces of the poor, so to speak, as Isaiah in the Bible puts it. Grinding on the faces of the poor. I've never heard such a colorful and exact wording of what the people that take from everyone do. Grind on the faces of the poor, And so we can all put ourselves in that position. But anyways, this particular gentleman, Jeff Evely, is a vet, Canadian, hero, basically, putting everything out on the line for everyone in Canada and challenging the Premier of Nova Scotia in this $25,000 woods ban. And, he just figured he would go into the woods, get a fine, take it to court and see what happens, because it shouldn't be legal, right? It just should not be legal. And I love his approach, and he's so nice to everyone with it. And he's not being condescending. He's not being, he's not challenging them to the point where he's being confrontational. He's just basically being a nice guy about it, but he's proving a point about the woods, going in the woods, and he gets a huge fine. Watch this.
Jeff Evely here out in Nova Scotia on Mountain Road in Coxheath. And as you can see behind me, this is the woods. But over here, this is not the woods. This is the Department of Natural Resources, where the conservation officers work, who issue $25,000 fines for going in the woods.
Not bad. I'm Jeff Evely. I called earlier.
Evely?
Yeah, Evely. I spoke to somebody earlier.
Yeah.
About the woods ban.
Yep.
And I understand that you guys issue $25,000 fines right now for anybody who goes in.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go in the woods over here.
Okay.
I don't want to make any trouble for you guys. Okay, I took this to court the last time they did it. They said I didn't have standing because I wasn't fined, so there was no money involved.
Okay.
So I want to challenge this order in court, and the only way for me to do that is to get the fine. So I'm not trying to make trouble for you guys. Okay, I just want a piece of Tim Houston, and I want to be as accommodating and nice as I can be. I'm just gonna.
Okay, so I'm ordering you to not.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
another.
Roger that.
I'm doubling fines right now.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. So, he has to be in the woods.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a violation yet, so.
Well, they're very nearby. I thought instead of crossing the road, I would just go in the back here, just for safety purposes. And, you know, we can do it like that. Does somebody want to follow me out there, or? And you know, yeah, it would be good to do a witness. And if it's okay with you, I would like to record a video. If you don't want to be on camera, I can keep you off it. But I think that it's in the interest of justice that we provide a fulsome record for the court because of the precedent-centered nature of this case. So I can keep you off camera, keep your name out of it, all that stuff, whatever works for you. But
We'll be in court, so.
yep, we'll be in court, so we might as well have a fulsome record, right?
But you have to go in the woods. One
Yes.
or two steps.
Sure. You want to show me where the woods is out back here?
The
Or
woods
across
still-
wherever you want.
We still have to suggest that you don't.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just ordered me. He said he's going to double my fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to defy that order, nothing personal.
Okay, so whatever happens after you leave here.
Yeah.
we'll-
Nothing personal.
I know, we
Okay.
we got that.
Okay.
So, one more time, this is the DNR office on Mountain Road in Coxheath, Nova Scotia, and this is not the woods. But back here, this is the woods.
So yeah, so he's basically talking with the gentlemen there who are basically like the MNR here in Ontario, and they are ordering him. They said, I order you not to go in the woods. Did you hear that wording even? Like, what's up with that? That's weird. Like, anyways, when you give power to people, they really love it. And you can look at the 1930s and 40s in Germany, and basically what's going to be happening in our society is going to make that look like a picnic. Basically, you can just see how people, you know, instead of the guy going, I know this is crazy, you know, like I know I don't even know if I'm going to charge you, you know, because this is really stupid. No, he goes, no, I order you not going to go in the woods, or I'm going to double your fine. So where is he getting this? What is that? Where does it say if you go in the woods and you tell someone you're going to do it, you're going to get your fine doubled? They just take authority upon themselves even to make it even worse, because they're like, I can't believe this guy's actually utilizing his own rights as a citizen to say this is not right, and I'm going to show you that it's not right. So the guy says, I order you not to, and if you don't listen to me, I'm going to double your fine. That's what he said to him.
So, I have a couple of conservation officers with me right now who are not on camera but have advised me that if I go into the woods, if I defy their orders to go into the woods, then I will be fined, and they also said that they would double my fine to $50,000. So I'm going to walk down here and go into these woods. I don't know that there's a good spot to do this, but I'm just going to make this as painless as I can for those guys and go in here. And they have me on camera as well, walking in the woods. All right, isn't this great? And maybe there's an easier way out of here than I came in. Let's try this. We good? Okay. Okay. And I didn't ask, but did you write the ticket already, or?
No, we'll meet you back out front.
Back out front at the reception desk there? Okay, if I bring my camera, keep you guys off it?
Yep.
Okay. I'll see you in there, guys. Thank you.
That's how polite this guy is.
This is not the woods. Hi. I was just out back with the three gentlemen there. They said they would meet me back in here, so. She's gone to get them.
So, of course, he has to wait a long time for them to actually get to write up his infraction, you know. So, along with this, there's the regular government long wait times, which is really, really funny. So, he just speeds up his
We
video.
have to the long form, and
Okay.
they put us off months in advance for court times. So if
Okay.
we just do a SOT
Okay.
for entering the woods
Yeah.
without forest travel permit when proclamation is effect, you have a court plea date. Your due date is the 12th of September, so it's a lot quicker, just the ticket. So
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So this
you want to
is,
go that to make it quicker.
okay, so this is an SOT, and that is for summons to accused. What is this?
Summary offense ticket
Yeah.
for today's date. Your information, Forest Act 25 sub 1. Fine is $28,872.50.
Okay. I thought it was 25,000. It's 28,870.
Court costs, victim fees.
Taxes.
Oh, victim fees.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. I appreciate your courteous approach. Nice chatting with you. All right, take care. Oh, this is still not the woods. So here we go. Oh, I have a ticket here for, let me see if you can see that, $28,870.50 for victimizing somebody. Okay, so more to follow.
So, there you go.
Hey everybody,
what do you think of that,
Jeff
right?
Evely
So, and
here
this is
out in
just-
Nova Scotia, and as you can see,
Just started repeating again, but that's fine. So this particular gentleman, Jeff Evely, he's a Canadian vet, you know, still serving his country, but in a different way this time. He's doing it on our own soil. Very polite. He sees that the government is overreaching in their authority for no reason, charging their citizens, you know, $28,000, almost $30,000 after you add the support and victim fees to the fine. Wanting to challenge this, so he goes right up to their Ministry of Natural Resources, Nova Scotia's version of that, and walks into the office, very polite. Says, you know what? I'm going to be walking into the woods, so can you tell me where the woods are? That way it's defined, so they can't say, well, that wasn't the woods you walked into. Can't give you a fine. They're right here. Okay, so the woods are right here, so I'm going to walk into them, and I want someone to be there to see me do it. And I want you to find me. And the one guy goes, I order you not to do it or I'll double your fine, which you didn't hear anything of that afterwards. So what causes a human being to act like that anyways? I order you not to, or I'm going to double your fine. It's human nature. When you're on that side, you're on the side of power. You want more power. You love power. And the government knows this. So there's enough people who love that kind of thing that they'll get enough people to go along with this kind of crap. And they'll enforce it. And they love doing it. They love the power. You know, if you saw that experiment they did in the prison experiment, was it Berkeley, California, did it? Anyways, they took just regular students and they had an experiment where they made some the guards and some the prisoners. And before long, the guards were just loving the extra power they had and doing all kinds of wicked things to the prisoners. But there was just an experiment, and it was just for a short period of time. But yet, you got to watch that movie. Anyways, it's a movie based on a real experiment that was done. It just shows you what human tendencies can be in this type of circumstance. So he just, nice guy, wants to show how ridiculous of a regulation this is, and walks in there and says, I'm going to do this. Just show me where it is. They follow him out. They video him. He goes back in. He has to wait a long time for them to actually write up this infraction to him, and then finds out that they actually added all kinds of fees and everything on to this. So the government is not only just milking you, they're charging you for their administration fees on top of, you're already paying the administration fees through your taxes anyways. And then they charge you administration fees on administration fees that you're already taxed for. Your tax dollars pay for these people's salaries to be there. So really, 3,000, whatever, how many hundreds of dollars on top of the 25,000 it costs just for them to write up that ticket? Honestly, really? Like, really? Honestly? There's so many wrong things going on here. So many wrong things, and things are just going to get more wrong as people allow these wrong things to take place around them, right? If you allow these things, like there's people in the valley here who just get rid.
And I had a question for our...
There's people that get rid of those speed cameras, right? Nothing happens to them because they know they're probably illegal when you really boil it down. And they get rid of the speed cameras. They throw them in the bush. They throw them in the swamps. And I don't want to condone anyone for doing things like that, but we're coming into where the lawmakers are the lawless people. They're breaking laws while they make their own version of laws, you know? Because we had laws in this country, very good laws. Like if you speed, then a police officer will give you a ticket if they catch you. You know, they have radar guns to catch you. They're being paid to get out there and keep our streets safe, you know? Cameras are just like, okay, well, if you can do that for a speed camera, you can put a camera anywhere to stop anyone from doing anything at any time. And then what kind of a society do you become? Do you want to live in that type of a society? That's where we're going, where you're forcing everyone to keep every law at every moment of their life, eliminating choice altogether while you get rich off of it. And then you take those riches that you've gotten from that, and you then exercise even more unbalanced power over people that you shouldn't have any power over, because God made us all equal and didn't make anyone any more powerful than anyone else, and didn't make anyone subject to anyone else's power. We're all equal as far as I've known my whole life, and I know at my core we're all equal. You know, if you want to do any scientific study to show how equal people are already in terms of strength, in terms of knowledge, in terms of all kinds of stuff, what gives someone the authority to exercise this type of dominion over other people and do it in a very unrighteous, if I'm going to use that way, like unbalanced? It's not right one bit, right? So what's the result of all this then, right? So Mario from the north, basically, is talking about Ontario, because it's going to be coming to Ontario, as somebody commented in the comments already. Like it's in New Brunswick, Newfoundland. It's going to be Quebec, then it's going to be Ontario. BC's already doing bizarre things that, you know, wow, BC is even worse. So they already got it at both ends of Canada, and it's just going to take up all the in-between provinces. It's not going to be good for anyone. But this is the results. Take it away, Mario.
This is not good. Canada is having a mass exodus. People are leaving Canada in numbers not seen since 1967. 106,134 Canadians left Canada, making it the highest departure since 1967, which represents a 3% increase from 2023 and a 17% increase compared to 2019. And one province is leading the charge. Take a guess which one it is. If you guessed Ontario, you nailed it. Nearly half of all Canadians leaving the country, they're leaving Ontario. That makes it more than Quebec, BC, and Alberta all combined. Canada has a massive affordability problem. Plain and simple. Weak laws, sky-high inflation, uncontrolled spending, and here's the craziest part. Nearly half of all Canadians voted for this. Again and again and again and again.
Let me take you to Canada for just a second.
This is not good. Canada.
Sorry about that. I would have liked to have heard
this is
a
story that happened a while ago, but I want to just show you the dangers of public-private partnerships. You're hearing this all the time, and every time Joe Biden would say public-private partnership, and it was all the Green New Deal and everything else, I kept saying that is fascism. That is exactly the deal that Mussolini and Hitler made. That's the difference between communism and fascism. They let you do your own thing, but you're a partner with the government. And as long as you abide by all of their rules, you're fine. But the minute you disagree, you don't have a say. They'll throw you out on the streets so fast your head will spin. And that is exactly what happened to a hospice center, the Delta Hospice Society. I have the executive director on, Angelina Ireland, and I asked her to come on today to tell us the story of what happened to her hospice facility. Angelina, thank you for joining me.
Hello there, Glenn. Thank you so much for having me today.
You bet. Okay, so the Hospice Society is a public-private partnership with Canada, but you guys raised, $8.5 million to build this property, and you negotiated a 25 or 35-year lease for the property, right?
Yeah,
Tell
exactly.
me about this.
So actually, we're a private society. So we're a 34-year palliative care organization. And palliative care is basically you take care of people when they're chronically ill or they're terminally ill, and you take care of them well until their natural end. And so we fundraised over a few years, $8 million to open a hospice and a palliative care support center next door. And so we raised that money. We got a 35-year land lease with the Public Health Authority. We built 2 buildings, a 10-bed hospice, a 7,500-square-foot supportive care center where we did our counseling and all the supportive programs. And then the service agreement was for operating costs. So every year they'd give us, when it ended, $1.4 million. And when we built those buildings, we opened them, and we operated our program with the hospice for 10 years. Everything went fine until this thing they call the State Euthanasia Program, called MAID, right, came into law. And then the province basically came to us and said, you're going to have to start providing euthanasia. You're going to have to start killing your patients in the hospice because you're getting public money, right? We said, absolutely not. We absolutely will not. At which point, you're exactly right. The fascism kicked in. I just call it stone cold communism. And said, you're not going to get any money if you don't start killing your patients. So then they canceled that service agreement, at which we said, that's fine. Look, we don't need your money. We'll be fine without your money. Which apparently is the wrong answer, because then they...
Yeah.
So then they went after the lease, and we had 25 years left on that land lease, and they canceled it. And now these incidentals, like the buildings on them, they just consider those to be like some kind of an old shack or fence, and they expropriated them. So at the end of the day, they evicted us, the organization, from our buildings. They expropriated those assets, which were valued at $8.5 million, kicked us out, and took our stuff, and then they started to operate our hospice, and they put in the euthanasia.
Unbelievable. They give you no money for the buildings. I mean, it was their land, right? I mean, that's kind of the public-private partnership. You're taking money from them to run it, but you said to them, we don't need it. But also, that was that not federal land that you were on, or some sort of medical kind of weirdness of Canada?
Yes. Well, it was, which considered to be, it was belonged to the health authority, but it was a registered lease in the titles office with 25 years left.
Right.
So, we had right to be there, and of course to continue on for another 25 years. But of course, no, they didn't allow it.
When you went to the court, what did court say?
Well, you see, we didn't get that far because we went to three very, very prominent lawyers, and they told us straight up, you're not going to win. You understand this, people. You might walk in with one lawyer. They're going to walk in with 15 lawyers, all funded by the taxpayer.
The government.
And you may win the first round, but you will not win, and they'll tie it up, and it's called lawfare. Mm-hmm. So they advised us again and again and again to just move on. Take our punches, take the licking from the government, and move on. The important thing for us was to hold on to our organization, because then the euthanasia activists came for us to try to take everything. And we still have assets, but we did lose our bricks and mortar in the moment.
That is crazy. I have described what's happening all around the world with the extreme left, with Islamists, not Muslims, Islamists. What is happening with the communists and the fascist is a death cult. It all seems to revolve around death, and they take glee in death. And Canada is shockingly, in many ways, leading the way on this with MAID.
So that's a little bit of what's happening now in Canada. You got government making these decisions locally. You got these speed cameras, and I was saying it's really good for you, it's really safe, but yet the data is showing we slowed down. That's really great. Thinking everyone's just stupid, that you're not getting rich off all these cameras. There's no benefit to any of us. We can't see that there's less accidents, or we're going to save any money on insurance, right? But you keep selling us this thing of, we're safer while you get rich. Well, thanks for that. And then you can't go into the woods on the East Coast, or they're going to fine you almost $30,000, right? And then, Ontario, everyone's leaving. Well, in Canada, everyone's leaving. Well, obviously, because what's going on here. Glenn Beck just talking to the director of this hospice, which, because she didn't agree to go along with the government's medical assistance in dying, or euthanasia program, they just stripped them of everything, even though they could function on their own, took everything. That's what we're doing. These are the things our government in Canada are doing, and that's why people are leaving. Hello? And so that's all the time we got for the show today. We appreciate you. We actually had a show, even though a lot of things were in opposition to us having it, including technology. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back same time, same place, on the same platforms, God willing, tomorrow. Have a safe and wonderful Monday and beginning to your week, everyone. Thanks for being on. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. Ciao for now.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.